Won't the Prime Minister's decision this week to cut JobKeeper, cut JobSeeker and cut wages make the worst recession in almost a century even deeper and even longer?
The Treasurer.
Well, thank you, Mr Speaker. As you know, JobKeeper is at $101 billion, the single largest economic support program that this government, or indeed any Australian government, has ever undertaken. And right now it's supporting 3.5 million Australian workers and around 1 million businesses, Mr Speaker. And around the country, in every corner of this great country, there is a great story about JobKeeper and how it's keeping people in work. We've always said, though, the program was temporary, it was targeted, and that there would be a transition. Now, Mr Speaker, not just those on this side of the House have said that it should be tapered and it should come down, Mr Speaker. One person said this, that they should be looking at a kind of tapering, Mr Speaker. Somebody else said this about JobKeeper. There needs to be some transition over time away from these extraordinary levels of support in the economy, Mr Speaker. And the same person went on to say, which recognises that JobKeeper won't be there forever, Mr Speaker. The same person said, Mr Speaker, that government should be considering better ways to transition the JobKeeper program. Mr Speaker, that wasn't the member for Flinders. That wasn't the member for Wannon. That wasn't the member for... Mr Speaker,
just the Treasurer, if you could just pause for a second. If members on my left could cease interjecting. I'm just going to say to the Treasurer, obviously, that the Hansard doesn't pick up his pauses.
Sorry.
But
sorry, Mr Speaker.
I'm just going to draw him back to the question, which
so,
was,
Mr Speaker,
no, hang on. I haven't ruled. Okay, unless you can read my mind. The question was quite specific, so whilst you can compare and contrast to an extent, you can't use the rest of the answer to speak about what the opposition's policies are.
I hadn't revealed who it was, Mr Speaker, yet. But the
Treasurer can resume his seat. Just going to say to the Treasurer, it doesn't matter. The rules are quite clear, and I'm trying to maintain order in the House, and that can't just be when it suits those on my right. The Treasurer has the call.
Well, thank you, Mr Speaker. Those comments were made by those opposite, but the point is that we are seeing this payment transition.
Member for McMahon is warned.
We are seeing this payment transition over time, but right now it's supporting 3.5 million workers. It's transitioning, it's tapering, just as the member for Rankin asked it to do.